Hi, my name is Duane Dorch, and in this video, we'll be discussing automating Akamai activities using Jenkins. In today's fast-paced development and deployment environment, it's essential that we automate as much of the build, test, and deploy process as possible. Continuous integration and continuous development, or CI/CD tools, like Jenkins, Bamboo, TeamCity, and others, have been used for years to assist in this process. In this video, we'll focus on Jenkins and how you can use it to automate Akamai activities as part of your builds. There are several property manager type actions that you may wish to perform, like creating and updating and cloning properties, configuring property rules, activating and deactivating properties. There are also purge actions, purging content, refreshing content, deleting old content. Also, edge workers are quite popular, and there's several things you can do to automate that activity: registering, uploading, activating your edge workers, testing edge worker functions, and basically shortening the time to production for your edge workers. There's sandbox activities that you can perform to test, build, configure your sandboxes locally. And then in the testing space, there's Cloud Test, our load testing solution, where you can deploy test servers, execute your load tests, and then tear those servers down. These are all common activities that you may want to incorporate into your CI/CD process. We'll make extensive use of the Akamai Command Line Interface, or CLI, a powerful and extensible toolkit that allows you to manage and configure Akamai's platform and products directly from the command line, or in this case, our CI/CD tool of choice. You'll want to be sure to install the Akamai CLI in order to take advantage of these capabilities. We won't discuss the CLI installation process here, but it's well documented on developer.akamai.com/CLI. Let's look at an example of using Jenkins to automate the process of activating an edge worker to production once we commit a code change. In this example, I'll be using Visual Studio Code as my local IDE and will push changes to my shared group repository in GitHub. Then I'll configure GitHub to kick off a Jenkins job whenever a change to my edge worker code is committed. You can configure your choice of IDE and code repository to do the same. To start, let's go to Jenkins, and we need to create a new job. So this new item will be a freestyle project. We'll enter a description. This will be a GitHub project, so we'll enter our project URL. And then for the Git source code management, we'll enter the repository URL in GitHub. We want this to occur on our main branch. And then for build triggers, we're going to select GitHub hook trigger. And then the build steps, we'll enter our steps to actually build the edge worker. We'll start with our tar command to build the bundle file, and then the Akamai CLI to upload the edge worker and activate it to production. We could just as easily activate it to staging, but we'll activate it to production in this case. And there are a full set of CLI actions that we can use here. Again, just go to developer.akamai.com/CLI to see a full list. Next, I'll need to configure GitHub to notify Jenkins after each commit so that Jenkins can kick off the job we just created. A similar capability should exist in whatever IDE or code repository you're using. In GitHub, we'll need to set up a webhook. So we'll go to Settings, Webhooks, Add Webhook. Under the payload URL, we'll enter the address of our Jenkins repository followed by /github-webhook. It's really important to maintain that directory structure. I'm actually using a proxy service called UltraHook. Since my Jenkins installs on my local machine, UltraHook will sit between GitHub and my local machine. You don't have to worry about this if your Jenkins instance is on the same network as your code repository. But if not, UltraHook is a good alternative. We'll use application JSON for the content type, and we'll just do this on push events, but you can configure the types of events you want this webhook to activate upon. Now that we have both Jenkins and GitHub configured, let's see it in action by committing a change to our edge worker code. Looking at the edge worker section of the Akamai Control Center, you notice that we're currently on version 0.14 of this edge worker. So let's update our code and see what happens. I'll first make a change to one of the EdgeWorker bundle files. We'll change this to version 15. And now I'll save this change and commit it to my local Git repository. Next, I'll sync this with the team repository in GitHub. And once that sync takes place, you'll notice that Jenkins has received the notification from the GitHub webhook and is now executing the Akamai CLI to deploy the EdgeWorker to production. You'll notice now that version 0.15 is being activated in production based on the Jenkins build steps. The Akamai CLI can be used in conjunction with CI/CD tools like Jenkins to help automate your build, test, deploy process. It's a quick and easy way to include Akamai platform updates in your automated workflow. Well, thanks for watching today. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions on this topic.